it should be live now. I said it should be live now. Let's see if it'll work. Let's see, it doesn't show you as being here inside of it. Let me grab my iPad so I can see what you're seeing. So let me grab my iPad real quick so I can see what you're saying. Okay. They're going to be like in listener mode, you know what I mean? So I have a thing. I'll send you a link to in here once we get it up and rolling. So I set it up on the New Harvest site. Yeah, cool. So that way they can still comment and stuff right there in the section below. And on your what? Check your email one more time. I just sent you a new invite. See if that'll... Oh, that's weird. I'm pretty sure I sent it to your Gmail. Because like I said, everything Google is like hooked up to your Gmail account. You know what I mean? So it just makes things a little easier to go through that one. So when you clicked on the view invitation, what did it give you? I said when it clicked on the view invitation, what did it take you to? This thing's pissing me off now. Yeah, you got a little webcam. Okay. Yeah, I just don't know why it's. I'll send it to your new harvest one. Yeah. APRAM64 at Yahoo. Yeah. That's a good thing with doing the Google Hangouts too, is that it's we can automatically record it and upload it to YouTube. What the hell? Hold on. Hold on. Too many things broadcasting here at once. All right.
Yep, shows you there.
Okay, but why aren't we on the screen on the?
Why are we on the left?
Press play.
It says live. I just see a picture of you. I don't see you live. You see me live?
Yeah, my webcam was being stupid, so I'm just going to be sharing my screen.
Okay, so but right now, okay, so right now on New Harvest by Joe Lopez, right now mentoring, there's nothing there, right? If you go to newharvestventuresllc.com/, I'm on that page too on my other computer.
The slash webinar?
Right.
Yeah, so now we should be up right there, actually.
No, we're not, unless we refresh the screen.
Let me try. It might, no, I'm seeing it.
You're seeing me, but I'm not on the screen. New Harvest Ventures LLC.
I'm sorry. Say again?
Oh, I see myself.
You can see my screen, right?
If you go to newharvestventuresllc.com/, I'm on that page too on my other computer.
Oh, it's behind.
Okay, right now, Joe, you can only see me. I don't see you on that screen.
Yeah, so what you're seeing, because you're talking right now, it's showing you, I think because you're the only video right now. Oh, actually, hold on, let me do this. Share my screen really quick.
You're seeing me, but I'm not on the screen. New Harvest Ventures LLC.
What do you mean on like
newharvestventuresllc.com/webinar? It's only me.
Oh, yeah. So for right now, it's only you.
Okay, so for now on, okay, so click to you. So that way I can talk to everybody, say, hey, everybody, this is Anthony. Okay, I've seen the lions come up, then they went back. You there, Joe?
Can you, let me see right now. It's showing you there.
/webinar. It's only me.
Right, I see that.
Okay, so for now on, okay, so click to you. So that way I can talk to everybody, say, hey, everybody, this is Anthony.
Okay. Can you see me now? Can you see my screen now? There's going to be a delay between.
I know there is.
What we're doing real time and what's happening. So let's see. I switched it over. Can you see my screen now? Yeah, because I'm seeing my screen now. Are you seeing it?
Yes, I am now. That's you right now. It's back to me again.
Yeah. So what you're watching is the video of me watching you. That makes any sense. So what I'll do on mine is I'll put it up like this. So when they're seeing my screen, they'll see this for now. hear my voice and see you.
Okay, but let's just completely take me off because you can see, because can you see, right now it's just me.
Okay, I can hide you from the broadcast.
That's you right now, it's back to me again.
Yeah. What you're watching is ridiculous. I'm actually. Can you see my screen now?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's kind of what they'll see in my end here while we talk. And then I'm actually going to do something really quick. I'm going to switch it over on mine. So all they see is this. Okay. So now, regardless of what screen I am, whatever I'm switching around or whatnot. So are you still seeing that same page?
Which one? Right now, I'm seeing you, and I see myself in the corner, and then on the computer, all it has is New Harvest Ventures LLC, and then it has you playing around with the boxes and everything.
Okay, circled a little behind. That was a little while ago. That's all right. Everybody will just be a little behind. We can ask questions and we'll get to them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay, so right now it shows you in your screen up there. Which one? Right now I'm seeing you, and I see myself in the corner, and then on the computer, all it has is New Harvest Ventures. Okay, so Joe, so when we start, I'm just going to say hi, everybody. And should I just log off and make it easier for you?
Yeah, so after you're done saying hello to everybody, you can just log off and do whatever you want to do, bro.
No, I'll watch everything.
Sure, I mean, you can stay on too. It's not a big deal.
Okay, I'll stay on, but yeah, because we're going to be behind anyways, and they're just going to be listening to us.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to talk about, hey, everybody, this is Anthony and Joe, and we'll talk about. See, but are you hearing me through? Should I get off my phone?
Yeah, actually, let's try that because I'm on my phone too. I just have the speakers and everything down. Let's try hanging up and we'll just talk.
Okay, let me. I'm going to put you on mute instead. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Hey, Joe, do you hear me? I'll watch everything. Joe, do you hear me now?
So 1 second. I needed to turn all that stuff off. It was echoing. Can you hear me all right?
Joe, you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
You can. Okay, you know what, bro? You know what's funny, bro? Okay. How about now? Good.
Oh yeah. Hey, might want to pause your that video.
What video?
The live broadcast.
How do I do that? I don't know what I'm doing.
That's all right. If you know on the New Harvest Ventures LLC site.
Uh-huh.
You need to turn all that stuff off.
Okay, I paused it.
Yeah. Okay, that'll clean. Because if you notice, you could hear us talking in the background.
Right.
That's what that was.
Okay, so right now we're good. I paused it on my site. Everything is good, and then so at 7 o'clock they should start coming on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they're going to be seeing everything. Okay, so I just turned that down, right?
Right. It was echoing.
Okay, I just turned that down. And then I can have it going.
Give me 1 second too. Actually, I'm gonna grab some headphones because I don't want it to be bouncing back and forth between the two of us either. I'll be right back. Just give me like a minute or so.
Hey, bro. Let me. Go ahead. Then I owe like okay. I owe like 21 something, 20. Excuse me, 20,800 something, which isn't that bad. I thought it was going to be worse. No, I haven't. No. Hey, I'm going to be on a call at 7 o'clock. Let me call you right after it, please. I want you. Okay, bye.
All right, I'm back, Anthony.
All right, buddy, I hear you. Can you tell when everybody's getting on?
Yeah, it'll say how many viewers there are.
4 people are listening, honey. Anthony. 4 people are listening.
Okay, we have 4 people listening right now, so we'll see who's on the.
Not exactly.
Go down with the arrow.
That's where it says live fire.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I was testing the system, so I logged in a few times. So it says that I'm following the conversation. So a couple of those are actually me.
Okay, it has your picture on New Harvest. Do you also have the New Harvest the New Harvest on?
I'm sorry, the what?
I also have analyzing deals. So I have my iPad going up with also on my computer too. So we'll see when people are starting to sign up, and then there'll be like questions underneath, coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
What happens if you click on the 4 people? Did you say the names?
So as the people come on, that we'll be seeing them come on. We won't know who's on though, right?
Right. We won't know unless they ask a question. So
Okay.
what we'll do when we get in there is we're just going to ask everybody to say hello in the chat, and then their name should pop up. So yeah, it'll be something like, hey, if you can hear me, just please type yes into the chat box. Something like that, and then so watch. I'm gonna let's see. I don't know if it shows it on the iPad app because I'm on my desktop.
I'm on both.
Okay, but for the Google Hangouts, on mine, like on the desktop version, it says two viewers, just me and you.
I have someone coming on because now I have 5 viewers.
Okay.
Are you gonna take a
So Okay, so people are starting to come on now. So,
Right, I see that.
okay, everybody, just take it easy. We're just going to be hanging out here, waiting for everybody else to get on board.
Hey, if you guys are there hearing Joseph and I, please, we're going to do 2 systems. We're going to do this week, we're going to do Google Hangout, and then next we're going to do webinar, see what works for all of us, just to let you know. But for now, we see 6 people. Can you put your name, sign your name on if you're using your computer or your iPad, please? And see who's on so we know we have a track who's been online. Okay, we have Sam that's on. That's great.
I saw that.
Huh? You
I
see
said I
that?
saw that.
All right, Sam. I'm glad you're there.
And yeah, Anthony, if you want to log in too to that comment things, you'll be able to comment and interact with everybody.
I can't from my computer or from my.
Yeah, from your computer.
Is that where it says live fire?
Yeah.
Display name and all that?
Yeah, so you can log in using Facebook, Twitter, Google. Whatever.
Okay.
Awesome. Facebook, Twitter, Google, all that. Awesome.
Okay, again, everybody, this is Anthony and Joe. If you can log in and tell us, we know we have Sam on the line, but it looks like we have 9 people on the line. So let us know who's online with you guys, please, with us.
Yeah, just pop into the chat box, say hello, so we know everybody who's here.
How many do you have total? Okay. Are you gonna know how many people are? Is there 11?
I'm seeing 9 at this point.
Correct. We'll be starting in 2 minutes.
Just to let everybody know too, there's a little bit of a delay between what's happening and the broadcast, probably about 30 seconds to a minute or something like that. So if you guys ask a question and we don't get right back to you, that's probably why. So just bear with us that way.
Joe, could you all tell everybody online how you can, if they want to go back to the recording for their own, to review this, how they can do that?
I'll send out a link, an email afterwards.
Okay.
And yeah, so we'll be able to go back and review this. And so make sure everybody takes good notes too. So get your pen and paper out. Looks like we just had one more person come online.
Okay, again, if you just came online for the first time, please log on to tell us who's online. So far, we know we have Sam. We have 10 guests online right now, which is great. That's awesome, guys. That means you guys are really wanting to do this. So instead of just being a slacker, you guys are going to be a go-getter. Those are some of the things we'll be talking about in some of our meetings. We're going to get your mindset to do this. A lot of people won't because you're afraid, but you're not going to be afraid when you have all of us together. I'm not going to, Joe, myself, Paul, Alvy, Mindy, Brody, whoever we have, we're not going to make you make mistakes, guys. That's what we're here for.
Yeah,
so again, go ahead.
I was just going to say that's invaluable to have in your back pocket, being able to call somebody or email somebody when you're not sure about things. I know when I was first starting, I was pretty much unsure about everything I was doing. So it's really nice to have somebody who has some experience in there to give you point you in the right direction.
Correct. I'm trying to log on and do this myself to see if I can do a little chat also on there. So making sure. Again, we're going to try 2 systems, guys. This time we're going to do this one here. Then we're going to do the webinar and see will that work for you guys. And whatever you guys we pick and you guys help us pick, we want to make sure it's successful for you guys. So this is our first time. Oh, Joe's done it before. He said it was really good, so I believe him. So. We'll start in a minute from now. We have 11 people online, Joe.
Cool. Once again, everybody, if you can hear a voice, please just pop into the comment box and say I can hear you. We just want to make sure everybody can hear us all right, and everything's working the way it's supposed to.
Now we have 12 people online.
Nice.
Hey, Joe, I got someone text me and it says, use PIN for members. Use PIN for members. Didn't know what that meant.
Use PIN for members?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure. It doesn't ask for a PIN or anything when anytime I try to on anywhere.
Yeah, because it's just for them to view up there. Okay, well, anyways, Joe, it's 7 o'clock now, so we're going to start. So I just want to welcome everybody to our webinar, and it's going to be going using Redfin. And very important, you'll understand, if you don't have a quick MLS listing, or if you do not have, Ryan Orr's site as far as showing you the way, Redfin is a good way, and it's really, and it works in California basically really well, I believe well. And Joe, what do you think Redfin's? They're within thousands of dollars of close to what the says. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really. They don't have like a Z estimate like some of like Zillow does and some of those other ones, but they use pretty much the same information. So the numbers as far as what houses are selling for and what they're currently on the market for are very accurate. And I believe Redfin updates like every 15 minutes or something. So it tends to be pretty up to date. Not it's up to date as the MLS, obviously, but if you don't have the MLS, it's a good resource to have.
And the thing is, Joe, and just like anything, they got to understand, if right then you can't get a hold of Lisa, Edwin, myself, you, whoever, it's a good starting point to use Redfin. And that's what we're going over. It's a starting point. If it looks like it's like within 10, if you're going to make 20, 25, 30,000 on a deal using Redfin, it's going to be really close. But again, we don't let you buy a house or get anything unless it's like you double, triple check, quadruple check your numbers, because we know as far as anything, the numbers are very important. And then the rehab. Again, the MLS is Redfin is a starting point to see if it's a deal or not. And that's the thing that I notice a lot of you guys are sending us, and they're not deals. They're like completely not deals. I have not seen one deal yet. Yesterday, Sam was inside the office, and he said this guy sent him was a $60,000 profit, blah, blah, blah. And we come down to find out he didn't even have the house tied up. We called him on it. He might have lost it, but an agent started to list it as of 3 days ago, and but he told Sam, hey, if you want this deal, you got to wire in $5,000 right away into escrow, and I can show you the house. It's like, don't ever do anything like that. That's a desperate person, and if you're going to follow that lead, it's a chance you won't get that $5,000 back or get it tied up for a while. So again, Joe, I'm going to let you go. You're going to take over and show them why this is a good starting point. If you're not an agent, if you can't get that MLS correct price right away. So Joe, go ahead and take over.
All right, cool. So Yeah, it's like Anthony was saying, it's actually a really good starting point. It doesn't want to be, you don't want this to be your be all end all, but I find it really good to find pretty quickly, the relative value of something, of a property, as well as just kind of finding properties that are underpriced for a small area. And it's great for doing research in your market. So getting to know your own market, you can go in there and look on a map and see what houses are selling for what prices in a particular neighborhood. I'm actually I'm gonna mute Anthony real quick. Can hear him. So, all right. So, okay, great. So let's go ahead and get right into this. I see Nicole here said she can't hear anything. Let me see if, make sure the mute button isn't on, either on your computer or the YouTube video there. There's a mute button. So make sure that, just like on YouTube, make sure the volume's up. So we're gonna go over to Redfin right now. And let's go to Rancho Cucamonga. So let's go and search here. It's a second to load. And I'm going to zoom in to this area. So what I want to do is I want to zoom into an area where kind of a neighborhood. See, like when it's this big of an area, it's too many properties and we can't really draw any good conclusions from that. So I'm going to go ahead. Also, everybody at home, I want you to follow along and take some good notes. So I'm going to delete the Rancho Cucamonga right there, and that will get rid of that line so I can see in any city or anywhere that I drag the map to. So let's go ahead and take a look over here in Fontana. I'm going to zoom in a little closer. So I like to zoom in to about this size here, just probably a mile is probably right about here. If you wanted to double check that, you can actually go over to Google here and it'll show the map. And you'll see if there's a kilometer. Let's change that over to a mile. It doesn't do it like that. Let's try that. So you can see a mile is right about here, which is about this range here, which is where we were. So you put a 1 mile radius, which is what we're looking for when we're going for comps. So if I go back over to here, you'll see it's about a mile square here, or a mile radius. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to more options. And I'm going to deselect condo, townhouse, all these other ones. I'm not really interested in these at the moment. I'll leave MLS listed houses. And I'm going to declick foreclosures, new construction, and the for sale by owners. I'm going to click sell records. That way we can see what is sold in this area in the last 3 months. And once we do that, we're going to hit update search. And now you'll see we have little blue houses here, and these are the sold records. And then we have these other ones here, which are, oh, that's a short sale. I'm going to get rid of the short sales too for right now, just because when somebody short sells the house, usually they need to list it and get an offer before they can really go to the bank. So this number is basically pie in the sky number. So when I'm looking for deals, not that I don't look at short sales at all, but with this particular method, I deactivate the short sales because it really messes up your numbers and you have all these super low houses that aren't really this price. And I'm going to update my search one more time. And if I'm going too fast for anybody, just let me know, type it into the comments section there, and I can slow down, or if you missed something, let me know and I'll go back over it. Okay? All right. So now you see here we have 40 results of properties for sale and properties that have sold. And I'm going to sort these by price, or we can sort it by price per square foot. We're going to start there. So if something is considerably cheaper price per square foot, it's usually indicative that it's cheaper than all the other houses in the area, regardless of the size. There's a couple of things that can mess with that. One is a large house for the area. So if all the houses in this area are about 2,000 square feet and we're looking at one that's 3,000, 4,000, it's going to throw that number off a little bit. And same thing in the opposite direction. If we're looking at a house that's 700 square feet, it's going to drive up the cost per square foot. So those are a couple of things that you want to look out for. So as we scroll down here, we see Niagara, and this one's going for 136 bucks per square foot and being sold for 285. So I'm going to write those numbers down just so I have a reference later, because we're going to use this to kind of come up with a cool little map that will help us figure out the numbers in this particular area. All right, Niagara, 285, okay. And it was at 136 bucks per square foot. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the houses around this. So this one's 285, this one's 260. Take a look. And kind of what we want to do is we want to find the value of a rehabbed house in this area. So let's take a look at this one and make sure this one isn't rehabbed. It's not looking like it. It needs to be updated. So this is definitely not a rehab. So you'll notice this one's considerably cheaper than this one, 100 grand cheaper. But look, the square footage is much smaller. And you can see it's on a busy street right here, as well as right here. This is a really wide street, you can tell. It's got these ugly boxes and the telephone pole right in front of it. So this is not something I would really want to look at. This definitely doesn't look rehabbed. And I went for 300. The kitchen looks updated, but not rehabbed. This is not landscaped. So we'll look at this one, and this is actually a sold property, so this is a really good barometer for what we can get for this house if it's rehabbed. The fireplace looks ugly. Floors look good. Walls look good. It looks like it was rehabbed. I see the blue film from a new dishwasher there. And that looks new. So this is going to be a barometer. Yeah, that carpet's new. I don't know why they didn't do the fence. Probably just wasn't in the budget. Who knows? So you can clearly see this looks like a rehabbed house. So this is going to be kind of our barometer for the area, for this little neighborhood right here. And things kind of change whether you go east, west, and you'll kind of see this as we move through this. So 285 and 174 bucks per square foot. So if we go back to our original one here, not really looking like a deal, because they want basically the same price for an unrehabbed house. There's no room to do anything in there. Fix it up, it's probably still only going to get 285. So that's not a deal, right? So look at this one here, 260, same thing, not a rehabbed house. Got the car in the front lawn. There's only one picture, not landscaped, all their stuff in here. So this one definitely not a deal either. So hopefully this is kind of making sense to everybody about how you can find properties and kind of look at the comps pretty quickly on Redfin. So let's scroll down here this list a little bit further. So these are all sold properties. And you'll see this is another one of the cheaper houses actually in the area, but not cheap enough. So if we look at this one's actually much further south. So this one's really, this area up here is not really a comp for this area. So let's stay up here just for a second. So if you notice, we got 378 on that one. That one's much more expensive than the 280s we were seeing on the high end over here. So, but this house was built in 2009. So it's not really a comp for a house that was built in 1979. So you got to make sure you're keeping that in mind when you run your comps. All right, is it back up?
Yeah, you know what, guys? It looks like we're down right now. All I can hear is volume. Hold up, we'll be back. Yeah, you know what? We're back on, Joe. Sorry, people. I'm sorry. We're having internet connections. As I said, this is one of the first tries, and it'll be better every time. It looks, Joe, right now. It's only showing. It's starting to come up now. It's just a little. It's not coming up the site. It's just you a picture.
All right. think we're back up. Can you hear me, Anthony?
Yeah, I can hear you. We're back up.
All right. Gotta love technology, right? So, okay.
Again, we apologize for that. Again, what we're trying to accomplish here is get everything. You can see me on the site as of right now. Joe's trying to get everything going. But at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is I want to have everybody's picture. So if you're going to go out and get a little webcam, or I'll get one for you so we can put on your computer. So that way what we can do is in turn know who's online and you can ask questions. Pretty much we're going to have like a little Brady Bunch scene. So Joe, are you working on now? It's going back to, there you go. You got it on.
So we're back up.
We'll take those extra 10 minutes and go over.
Yeah. So how far back did it go out?
Probably no more than 5-10 minutes. Well, 5 minutes at the most.
Okay. So I'll just type this in here.
Joe, it's gone back. We're having technical difficulties here. Show the screen over. Move the screen over.
Hold on 1 sec. What do you mean move the screen over?
Right now, it's just showing your picture.
Yeah, that's okay.
Again, I apologize for this, and we'll get going, and we'll have this going in a second here.
So we're back up. So I'm going to go ahead and continue off from here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and mute your mic, Anthony, unless you want to jump in on anything else. Okay. So if you'll notice, this neighborhood here we were talking is a little different than this one here. So when we're learning our market, what we're going to do is we're going to make a little map of some areas. So I'm going to hit the print screen button from right here. Actually, I'm going to go over to Google Maps. So if you click the little Google thing right here, it'll open up Google Maps. So this is just so I can zoom out a little bit more and not have all the extra stuff there. So I'm going to hit print screen. So the button on your keyboard about 2 buttons up from the delete button. And then I opened up Microsoft Paint. If you go in here, type Paint, this will come up. I'm just going to paste that right there so you can right click and click paste, or do like I did and hit Control V. So this was the area we were looking at right here. So what I'm going to do, because that's about an average size house that we were looking at there, and rehabbed house 285. So I'm going to type in, if we go right here to the text, 285. Okay, make this a little smaller, and we'll make the background, oops, white. And then now, so on our map, we have a little number here just to give us an idea that this is kind of where we're at in this neighborhood. Okay, so let's go back over to Redfin. So there we were on Fontana and San Bernardino. And let's go ahead and let's head a little bit north from here. And so we're going to take a look. Yeah, that should be good right about there. Once again, we're going to sort this by our price per square foot. Good, stayed there. And this changes every once in a while. So, but the principle stays the same. They used to have it displayed down here in text. So you might come here one day and it'll look a little different. Okay, so we have kind of an anomaly here. 490,000 for this house here on Arrow. If you look, that's way more than the house should cost. We got 200, 280, 280. That's units. 635. So most likely. I'm going to look at that because it's an anomaly, and I want to know, why is this particular house, why are they asking so much for it? It could be on this main street that they have a huge lot, and that's kind of what they're looking to do with it. Just give that a second to load. You can see some pictures. It's in like a house. Wow. So big description here, but I don't see any reason why it should be selling that high. So most likely this person is just out of their mind and thinks they can get double what everybody else can get. And sometimes you'll find that because this is a for sale house and not a sold house. So yeah, you'll find that. So let's take a look here. We were down in this area before. So let's scroll through here, look at the price per square foot. And this is Sycamore Lane. They want $359 for it, which isn't a great deal for this area. If we zoom a little bit further this way, it's kind of where we were at before. We got 2 for sales right next to each other, about the same, and not very much there. Let's go ahead and change this. We're going to look at and organize it by price. We can find some of the cheaper houses here. So here we have one for $175, which on the surface seems pretty cheap for the area. Let's see, we got 250, 230, 245, 235. So between 230 and 250 is kind of what the houses are going for here. That doesn't look rehabbed with those curtains. Updated, but not rehabbed. So, but when we look a little closer, we'll see this is actually a pretty small house. And that's the reason that it's priced lower than everything else in the area. So that's not a deal. So look at this one, 210. Wow, this looks like a shack. I'm actually going to take a look at the hybrid version, which will show us both the streets and the satellite view. So if I come a little bit further this way, I just want to see what's going on in this area. There's a sold right next to it for $290. Seems a bit high for that. Let's see why. Just give that a second to load. Just let that load in the background while we look over here. So we got 315, 210. Zoom in just a little bit on that. See if it sits on a big lot or what the deal with that is. Yep. So if you look at this one, it sold for $290 because it's on this giant lot. So if you look right next door to it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They put 8 houses on the same size lot. So pretty much all the value out of this one was land value, so they could build something here. So when you're in Fontana, Fontana specifically, but other areas this will apply to as well, you'll see where there's a lot of new houses. But there's also some old areas around there with properties that have a huge amount of land around them, and that can be an opportunity as well. So let's take a look at this one here that was 210 and see if it's kind of a similar situation. I can tell already that the lot is big, but not nearly as big as this one. This one's at least double, possibly even triple the size. But that would kind of be the value in this one here. You can see it's in a nice area. They're trying to point that out with the pictures right across the street from some houses that look like that. So if you were willing to build some houses like that, then you might be able to make a buck off of this one. So that might be something we would look into a little further. So I would probably take down this address and look into it more. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So we got 8788 Citrus. Okay, and I'm gonna zoom back out. So we're in our about our mile square. And I believe we were looking over here. Yeah. And we're going to list this again. So low to high. So let's scroll down here and see if we see anything else of interest. We got 239 here. You'll see it pop up over here. Let's compare it to some of the houses that are right next to it. Not really undervalued. So not a deal. We have 250 here. Let's see what everything else in the area is going for. 270, 203, 248. I'd be a little curious because this is like a little far to really use that as a comp. Years similar. So I might be able to get away with it, but I wouldn't feel too comfortable with that. So let's go ahead and head north of the train tracks here. And see what we find. So if you'll notice over here, as soon as we started heading north, the prices of the houses started going up a lot. And those are the things that you want to notice and the things that you need to know about your market. Here in the Inland Valley, the closer you get to the foothills, the more expensive properties are, and that's pretty consistent regardless of the area. If you're in Hollywood, it's a lot more expensive than Hollywood Hills than just Hollywood. So, but let's take a look at here, and we'll go back to the bottom. So we have this one at 270. I really don't like that it's right next to all this industrial, which is most likely why it is cheaper than everything else around it. So that's kind of an anomaly. That's for sale, so I'm not going to really pay too much attention to that. So we got a 280 here. Definitely not rehabbed. And it's going for $222 a square foot. So if you remember, when we were down further down here, we were in the 130, 150, 180. And as we went up here a little bit more, it just started creeping up to where we were seeing the, 125 there, 190, 190. And as we climb up here, you'll see 242. And this doesn't even look like a very nice rehab house or anything like that. So 180. So these ones are starting around 180, 170 right there, not too bad, and going up from there. So you'll see that thing we were talking about. As we go north, you'll see the prices start to go up. So we'll scroll down here, sold. Let's take a look at some of these pictures. So this one definitely needs to be rehabbed, but let's see if there's any room in the deal. So they're selling it for 280. I'm not seeing very many comps in the area, which I don't like because nobody's really buying in that neighborhood. You're gonna be sitting on it for longer. So what I like to see is I like to see a bunch of blue dots and not a lot of green. So like if we come up to a more desirable neighborhood right here, you'll see there's a lot of solds and not nearly as many for sales. So this would be a good neighborhood let's take a look into this neighborhood. So let me pull this map a little bit. I don't want to go north of baseline. So big streets like this tend to be dividing areas. And you'll see here, you should start seeing higher prices. 309, 225, 375, 367, 380. So these are closer to the 400s than what we were seeing down south, which was closer to the 300s. So let's see, check out just some of the cheapest houses in this neighborhood. Okay, so this one's a little further off the map. So I'm gonna go ahead and center it so we can get a better idea of what's going on here. So we got a 270 for sale next to it. Looks like a nice house, not rehabbed though. So let's see if we can find a rehabbed house. Now this is built in 2014. You can tell how new it is right from there. So that's definitely not a comp for a house built in 1949. Not to mention look how small this house is, 800 square feet versus 2,200. So these aren't comps. So make sure you're keeping out an eye for that, because we need a very similar house, a similar year built, sold within the last 3 months within a mile radius is what we're trying to go for. And there should be multiple comps for that. And if there's not, that means the area is really not moving very well. And we should think twice before buying there, or at least try to account for 6 months or more of holding costs, because it is going to take you longer to sell. So what I didn't notice of the first time as I was talking there, I said it was 800 square feet. So that's really why this house is so much cheaper than everything else we were looking at over here. And it really wasn't part of that nice neighborhood that I was talking about over here, where there's so much more solds than for sales. Like if you look over here, which is a less desirable area, you'll see much more for sales and just a few solds. So it's, you know, less than a 50-50 ratio, it looks like to me, just eyeballing it. So let's go back this way. And we'll scroll down here. So most of the cheapest ones have already sold. Once again, this one's cheap, but it's over here in a less desirable area. Let's close that. Let's check this one first. So this one's 238, but you'll notice it starts diving down here to the less desirable area, which explains why it's cheaper. So, because really what you're looking for when you're looking for a deal is a house that is, in comparison to all the houses around it, underpriced. And this is really a needle in a haystack. So you're going to be looking at a lot of properties and not finding that, because most people are represented by realtors, and anybody you find in the MLS is represented by a realtor, and they know what houses they're going for. So they're not typically not going to advise somebody to sell it way under market unless there's some sort of significant problem with the property. So at 238, let's just go ahead and take a look, just because it is this one now. It's a unit. 238, so 230 sold right there. 230, 178. So that's definitely not looking promising at all. So let's go ahead and move on. So this is number 10. So it's making me think it's a unit of some kind. It looks like a house to me. Not rehabbed. I don't know, it has the blue tape, kind of looks like a new appliance, but yeah. So this is kind of more like a blow and go. They came in real quick. Oh no, so this is part of the gated community or something, it looks like. So anytime you see a number on there, I usually try to avoid it because it's condo and you have your housing associations and everything else, a lot of other complications that come with that. So let's go ahead and close this and continue down our list. 269, let's take a look in the area. I really don't like how there's no solds all the way around this house. 235, 440, but that's not a real comp because that's 2007 and our house is, was it that one? No, it was this one, an 81. So not really a comp. Yeah, 350. Yep. So no deal. And honestly, you're going to be coming across no deal a lot more than you are a deal. Let me grab Anthony and see if he wants to say anything about this. I'm sure he's got something to add. I think you might be muted, Anthony. You want to unmute your mic? Strange. Your mic isn't up for some reason, and it doesn't allow me to unmute it. Well, Anthony, you'll just have to sit there and look pretty, like you're good at. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get back to it since we can't get Anthony's mic working. Let me check over here. Also, if you guys have questions, please comment in. I had somebody say that they couldn't hear me very well. I'm going to go ahead and move the mic a little closer. Let me know if that's a little bit better. But other than that, no questions so far.
Hey, Joe, can you hear me now?
Ah, there you are.
Yeah, I just want to let them know what's very important is that you're going to, like right now, I'm submitting probably 20 offers a day, okay? And Brian and Lisa, and Edwin's aware of this too. I know he's on the line because he's been texting me. But the thing is, we're probably, back in the days, I'm going to say we've been submitting offers probably 75, 80, and then we'd get some deals. And we'd go look at houses and things of that nature. Right now, we're probably submitting over 100 offers. That's why it's very important, Joe. Joe, could you hear me? Everything good? Joe, could you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just muted my mic that way.
Okay, I just want to make sure they can hear me. So my main concern is this. Right now, we're probably submitting almost 150 offers to at least get one house to go look at. And that's why it's very important driving for dollars, because those are your better deals right now. And that's why driving for dollars. And then you guys are going to go Saturday with Paul on the probate. Guys, people still die. And that's what's very important. People still die every day. So you're going to get better deals. Driving for dollars, sending out postcards, neighbors, family, friends, handing out your business cards. We buy houses for cash on your car. Give it to your nephew, one of your nephews who's on the going to work every day or going to school. We buy houses for cash on the back of his truck. It's bumper to bumper on the freeway. So my concern, all I want you guys to understand is getting that deal today is harder than yesterday. Back in the days, we can pick up houses at 123, 135, 145 all day long. But today, it's not like that. And Joe, that's why this here, looking on the MLS, looking on Redfin, because they do not have the MLS, is very important. Your thoughts, Joe?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it's very, very important to have multiple sources of deals. And I mean, honestly, the MLS is, you don't find that great of deals in the MLS. And that's why we're looking other places. You, of course, want to look at the MLS because I think it's something ridiculous. Like 95% of all properties that are sold through the MLS. So it's very, very important to keep that as a source. But you want to have multiple sources. And honestly, the big deals you get will be from probate, from driving from dollars, from somebody you just happen to be talking to on the street who has an issue they need to deal with.
No, and that's correct, Joe. And one of the things too with Lisa and Brian, for the last three times we went out, there weren't deals. You know, we put $30,000 rehab, and Robert and I went and checked it out. And if it was a $30,000 rehab, we would have made 25,000. Well, in all reality, the rehab's $60,000. Pools haven't been full. Their air conditionings, the air conditionings aren't working. It's an illegal addition. It just on and on and on again. But you know what? Sooner or later, you're going to, with us, and thank God you guys have a mentor or us as your teammates, that we're not going to let you get into that bad deal, because all of a sudden you're going to create urgency, and that's what we don't want you to do. Urgency, you're going to make mistakes. Just like Sam the other day. Sam can contest to this. He was in the office with Scott and I, and it sounded like a great deal, but it wasn't even a deal after it was all said and done, unless we can get it for $200,000. And the guy said it was $65,000 profit with a $30,000 rehab. Well, that's their rehab is $30,000. Our rehabs are a little bit better, so they're going to cost a little bit more, and because we want to sell our house and we want to be the tops of them on the market. So again, this is very important. This is just a starting place. This is a stepping stone. Learning the Redfin. Redfin is great. You can have it on your phone, and you can constantly just refer back to it. You can Joe, there's an app for Redfin, correct?
Yeah, there is.
So they can download the Redfin app, and you can just see, hey, you know, this house is approximately 230, 240. If you guys are within $5,000 to $10,000, that's going to work, because if you're less, maybe the rehab could be less, or maybe it could be more. But again, if you're at least it's a starting point, and that's where Redfin, and that's when I was like, hey, Anthony, this could be a deal. Joe, Edwin, Alvy, Mindy, Paul, Richard, this could be a deal. Could you guys check on it? And it's like, hey, this is a deal, and we get it. It only takes one to get that ball rolling. And right now, you guys know 90% of you guys are in deals right now, and I can't wait till we get you in your own deal when you've made enough capital. Continue, Joe, with Redfin.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing too, you really want to take realtors' word unless you really trust them and have closed deals with them before. Take their word with a grain of salt, because they're biased, right, Anthony?
Yes, and that's a very good subject right there. You know what? There's a lot of times where a realtor will say the house is worth 240, and it's in today's market. You as an investor need to be better than your realtor. What I'm trying to get at is, like for example, that house on Bangor. Oh, they said it was going to be 215, 220, you know, all day long. Well, we ended up getting, I believe, I think we got 214, but they came back with points on us, and we ended up making $8,000 less. What if the realtor would have said it was worth 230 all day long? And I believe them. We put it on the market. That's not going to happen. So it's up to you to do your due diligence. And I like, for example, the rehab. If you say the rehab's 30 guys, you better add 12% to that rehab, just in case. And if that 12, so if it's 30, I would say 30, you know, $40,000 rehab. Again, we're not going to let you fail because we're with you. But I want you to be successful. And you're going to make mistakes along the way, but hopefully they're little mistakes. And that's where we're here for you. And that's why you picked us for your team, because we're doing deals.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and jump back into this.
Go ahead.
If you want to, Anthony, you can stay on. Maybe just mute your mic, and
Okay.
that'll keep your screen from popping up. And then if you want to chime in on anything, just unmute your mic and come back in.
Okay.
So, all right. So we were looking in this area, and there's really not much for sale in this area. And we have this one at 275, which does seem kind of cheap for the area, but everything in this area is actually newer. So if you look, 2004, 2002, 2003. So this one is cheap, but because it was built in 1986, so this isn't a deal compared to the properties around it. So this is most likely kind of an anomaly where it's kind of this old neighborhood butts up right against this newer neighborhood. And you can, let me zoom in just a little bit further, and you can really kind of see the difference a little bit as far as look how uniform these houses are. There's only a few different models and they build them over and over again. You can see all these houses here kind of have that same tinge to the roof. Same thing here. So this one that's over here is not really a comp. So honestly, I really don't have any comps for that property. Or maybe this one is kind of similar and it's close enough, but I'm going to go ahead and move on from that one because it's just, you can't get comps. You can't comp it. You don't know what it's worth. And that's gambling, my friend. That's not investing. So this is at 309, but this looks pretty new and grass is done really well. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a rehab. Yeah, picture of grass like that. Definitely a rehab. I'll just see all the work they did. The popcorn ceilings, though, that's interesting. So yeah, so that's a rehabbed house. So that would be something that I would want to take note of is in this particular neighborhood, that's kind of what they're trying to get for the rehab. But once again, if it's for sale, you got to take that number with a grain of salt because, you know, I could put the house up for $500,000. I could put the house up for $1 million right there. It doesn't mean I'm going to get it. So really, you want to be looking at sold. And so I really didn't see anything that was too interesting in this neighborhood. Very nice neighborhood, but like I said, you can see by all the solds and the very few for sales that this is a very desirable neighborhood. So the chances of you finding a deal in this neighborhood are going to be slim. But if you come across it, you should know that you should snatch it up really quick if you find something at a good discount. So once again, I would go back here to my Microsoft Paint, and I would put in a number right about here. I think we were a little bit further north, like right about here, or south of Foothill, or south of Baseline, excuse me. So right about here is where we were at. You guys notice there's all these stars on here? These are actually houses of vacant, abandoned houses that we found, and these are newer ones, so they'll be going on the mailing list. So if you guys remember, I tell you to star it. You see, I practice what I preach. So let's keep looking around here and see what else we find. I'm going to zoom out just a touch. These ones are good neighborhoods to look at too, just because they're planned like this. So you can be pretty sure kind of what you're going to get for it. It's pretty stable. But I'm going to go ahead and move on from that actually and see. Let's go. So we're heading further north here. So we should be seeing the prices go up even more. So 410, 410, 390. So 445. You'll see the prices are going up here. And once again, you'll see a large cluster of sold with not nearly as many for sales. So this is telling me this is probably a desirable neighborhood. So the cool thing about this technique is really you can go into an area that you've never actually been to and kind of get an idea of what's going on in the market in that area, where are the desirable areas to live, where are the more expensive areas. And you want to know that and get to know your market really well. Like I'm sure if I asked Anthony, offhand, what one of these houses was approximately worth, he could tell me because he knows this market like the back of his hand. And let's check out, this is actually kind of interesting because you have this golf course here. I think the Sierra Lakes Golf Course. So you'll see that this neighborhood is not like this neighborhood. So even though this house might be within half a mile, it's not truly a comp. And these are the kind of things that you need to be aware of when you're looking for a deal. You say, oh yeah, this house is cheap for the area, but you know, it might just be right next to an area that's much nicer. And so let's zoom in just a little bit. Hey, Anthony, we can hear you. You could maybe mute your mic. Okay. So areas like this are going to present unique challenges because you have a golf course here. So what I would expect is these houses that are right along the golf course are going to be much more expensive than houses that might be like in the middle of the neighborhood here. So let's check it out and see if that actually bears out. Let's see if I'm in the ballpark there or if I'm way out. Okay. So we have this one. Let's zoom in just a touch more. Oh, you can really see what's going on here. So 475, and this one you can see is right adjacent to this nice wide area of the golf course here. And then, so this one is adjacent as well, but not as a nice of area. You can see this is much more greenery. So we'd expect this one to be more, and there it is, 475 versus 396. So, you know, an $85,000 difference. And I would expect these ones to be even cheaper. We got 360, 360, 385. And that bears out that these houses over here are going to be a little cheaper. So you want to keep that in. So even within a tract like this that was built, that's a newer tract and it was designed and all the houses are mostly the same, you're going to find situations like that where it's certain houses in this tract are going to be much more valuable than others. Same thing here, 425, 505 here. These are asking 500. So like we said too, as you head north, they should be worth a little bit more. So if you look right here, it's pretty much the same neighborhood, 425. So, you know, 75, roughly 1,000 less than this one. Same thing here. Okay, this one has some, this is definitely not golf course. It's got some greenery right next to it, but you can see the street from it, so it doesn't have the same effect. So this is one of the reasons that I really like Redfin, is because you can go into a neighborhood and really start to see the patterns of what makes a house valuable versus other houses in the area. Because if you can really determine that, then you can find the houses that are undervalued at the moment, or that might be, you'd be able to add value to them. So we're coming up at the end here. We got about 4 minutes left. Anthony, you want to jump back on here, maybe throw in some final thoughts?
Yes, definitely. Can you hear me, Joe?
Yeah, we got you.
Just let you know, this is a starting point to understand comps, okay? Now remember, okay, you find a deal. Finding a deal is important, but it's not important as knowing your comps. It's one big piece of the pie, and you have to understand the whole piece of the pie. Again, finding a deal, okay, this is a deal. Is it a deal or not a deal? So you're going to double and triple check. First, this is a great start for Redfin. You're going to say it's worth X amount. Then what's the most important that I teach is rehabbing. That's why Joe drives for dollars, finds it. We come in with Robert and everybody, and we do the rehab. That's the most important there, part of the puzzle. And then the rehab comes back, and you go off your numbers off the rehab. Again, rehab and knowing numbers. This right here should be great. And you know what? You guys should play a little game with yourself, and you should be driving around. And when you drive around, you should say, if you see a for sale, a house for sale in your neighborhood, you say, that house is worth, I know, at least 400. If you have the time, write it down or stop and pull it up on your iPhone with Elisa's app, right, Joe? And then you'll say, oh, that house was, oh, I was close. It was 410. So
Yeah.
and that's what I did. Am I correct? Didn't you do that? Like when you're driving around
Oh
that
yeah,
house? So I think this is a
definitely. And
225 area. Go ahead.
yeah, you definitely. It's just part of knowing your market. Like I was telling everybody, like I'm always amazed with you, Anthony, because we can drive around almost anywhere, Rancho, Claremont, Ontario, and you pretty much know like within a 5-10 grand usually what a house is worth in that neighborhood.
Yeah,
And
but that comes with years of experience, just like anything. I mean, I can go to Highland and say this is a 135 area, 140 area. And again, I'm within the numbers, but it took time.
exactly. And this tool here will help you get to that point. And it's just going to be a lot of looking at numbers.
Joe, did I lose you there? Okay, I don't know if you guys could hear me, but again, one of the things, I think I lost Joe there, but one of the things that we're looking at is understanding your values in your neighborhood. What I recommend all of you guys could do me a favor. If someone could text me online. I think we lost Joe. Could one of you guys text me, Jan, if you can hear me, that you can still hear me online, please? Let me, I don't want to close this off because I have some important stuff to tell you guys.
Anthony, did we lose you?
Did you lose me?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, just continue it on, Joe.
Okay.
It looks like it's calling you, Joe. Okay, Nicole, can you hear me? I just got a text from you. I just want to make sure. Okay, could you guys hear me now?
All right. So I'm back. Anthony, can you hear me?
And could you hear me now on the line?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Okay. Joe, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, could they hear me now? Hey, someone text me if you guys could hear me at all. I'm sorry for the internet connection problems. It's both of ours. I don't know what's in our area, but I dropped too as soon as Joe did, and I'm like in Rancho Cucamonga. So,
Okay.
and Nicole, could you hear me? This is Anthony.
So Gary just commented that he can hear. So I think we're back up for everybody.
Okay, you know what, Joe? This is what I recommend them to do, and this is what I used to do in the old days. My thing is this. I remember getting a map of the San Bernardino County area, so then I would mark good places and bad places. Do you remember? Did you ever do that at all?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that's what I was telling everybody too, using the Microsoft Paint is, you just grab some screenshots. You can put in numbers, little notes for yourself in different areas. And that's definitely huge when you're first getting in and just starting to learn your market. After a while, you just know, but it takes a while to get to that point.
Yeah, and that's like I don't know if you guys if any of you guys have like planned a trip with a map. Just I mean, if you have to go old school, this is the great way to go. And you can get a map of your area, Nicole. You can get a Los Angeles area in that area. Jan, you can get the Hesperia area. Anybody else you can get. You have Brianna, you can get Rancho Cucamonga area. Joni, Kaylin, you guys can get different areas too, maybe the Fontana area. But it's a big San Bernardino map. And what I'm looking at is you can pinpoint bad areas and you can circle red areas.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea. And or if you get like a big map and laminate it, you can use a dry erase marker and write all sorts of notes and all sorts of valuable information on there. What areas are appreciating, which areas are depreciating, because you got to know that if an area is losing 10% of value a year, well, that's 5% it's going to go down in the 6 months you might have to hold it, so that could have significant impact on the price you sell it for.
And that's very correct. Now remember, we did this because of the fact because a lot of you don't have the MLS listing, a lot of you guys want to go home at night, and you guys aren't realtors, so you can start doing searches. But again, this is something we're going to do. Our next time, just to let you know, we're going to be getting off the air here soon. But on the 8th, this Saturday, you're going to have Paul. So all you guys are going to do probate. Please take a lot of notes. Paul is very, very educational on that. So I want you to sit through it and do your due diligence with him. Ask all kinds of questions, please. And then the following Saturday, you will be with me and I believe Joe out in the field with Edwin and myself and Alvy and Richard will be out in the field. But before we go out in the field, what we're going to do is try to simulate calls, Joe. Remember I was talking to you about like looking, and make sure you guys try to bring your laptops and computers. What we're going to try to do is simulate, go on the Craigslist. People are going to find, like for sale, and we're going to call so they could understand, hey, do you own, we're going to make the calls right there. So they'll understand how to make the calls with maybe a for sale by owner, maybe a realtor, and just say, I'm an investor. I have my proof of funds. We can send it to you right now. But just understanding how to work with that for sale by owner. Any thoughts about that, Joe?
No, yeah, that was a great idea. We were talking about doing that, and yeah, I think everybody will get a lot of good value out of it and see how you talk to people. Because I think, honestly, Anthony, that's probably one of the biggest things, and probably one of the biggest reels I think you get deals is your mouth. You know what I mean? You love to talk to people, and you love to tell people what you do, but it comes across, and you're also very interested, genuinely interested in people and their problems. So when you talk to people on the phone, it really comes across, and you build a friendship with that person, and they're much more willing to sell you their house.
Yes, and the main thing too is we got to get everybody. And hey, I believe we're gonna. I think Joe, if we were talking correctly last, we said that we were going to make sure that everybody was going to make a call. So be ready to do that. You're going to make a call to somebody, and we're going to say, hey, I'm along with my mentor. You're going to say, no, you're not going to say that. But you guys are going to say, hey, I'm along with my business partner Anthony here and Joe, and you're going to take charge, and we'll chime in. We just want to make those calls to understand calls, because bottom line is I want everyone, by the time they leave us or they continue with us, to make a deal, but get a deal to bring to us on the table. And by the time you leave, you should be able to flip your own homes and continue success, and we'll be business partners down the line. So on the conclusion of this, for myself, my final words is, hey, good luck on Saturday with Paul, and we'll be seeing you guys on Saturday. Looking forward to going out. We'll be there at 9 in the morning, so it's going to be an early start. Again, we'll have some refreshments for you, some coffee, and we'll have some donuts and stuff for you there. I'll buy some Krispy Kremes for you guys, and we'll get going, and then we'll probably hand out going out in the field and seeing 3 or 4 houses. Actually, what I'm going to do is we're going to see 3 houses, I believe I told Joe, and then we're going to come back, and you guys are going to tell us is a deal or no deal, and then we'll come up with the conclusions. It's going to be like a little mini bus tour, but at the end of the day, we're not going to say anything. You're going to have your papers. You'll have the houses printed out, and you guys should be able to go out, and then we can see. We're going to hand it in, and we'll grade it as a test, A, B, C, and D. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking excited. You can yell. I don't care. Whatever you guys want to do Saturday, because nobody's there. I don't care what anybody says. We'll have a good time. Joe, my final thoughts is use Redfin as a stepping stool. And what it is just to see to see if the numbers work. And if it comes with, if you're within $5,000 to $10,000, then you give us a call. Anthony, it works. I checked it on Redfin, but at least we'll know, Joe, and you're correct. At least we'll know if they're in the same ballpark or they're playing in a different park.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I said, it's a great tool to quickly and just get a ballpark number. And so usually if somebody sends me a deal, that's the first thing I do is just look it up on Redfin, look at all the houses in the area, and see if they're in the ballpark, then it's worth going. That's the next step, which is going on the MLS or through title and doing more comps, doing more research at that point. But we look at a lot of deals, so there's no time to waste. So the quicker you can weed out the non-deals, the better off you'll be.
Right. All right. So you know what? We'll be talking, and if you guys have any questions tonight, email us and we'll answer them. You can send it to Edwin, Anthony, or Joe, Richard, LV, Mindy, all at New Harvest Ventures LLC. Looking forward to seeing you guys all Saturday. Please be there at 9. Bring some tennis shoes next Saturday, not this Saturday. This Saturday you have Paul, so that'll be a classroom setting at Paul's office. So again, I won't be able to be out there with you guys, but Paul will be there, and learn as much as you can. And the following Saturday, we'll all be together, and we'll be there at 9 o'clock. So God bless, and thanks a lot, Joe.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and I'm going to stick around for a few more minutes. So if you guys want to post some comments in the comment section, I'll go ahead and answer a few questions. And so I'll be keeping an eye on that for a little bit if you guys have some questions. So,
all right, Joe, I'll see you guys later. Out.
Thanks, Anthony.